Welcome, welcome, welcome. Happy Friday. I want to just give a shout out to July. Oh my goodness, I'm going to be repping Family Childcare. You got my craft family shirt on right now. I want to give a shout out to Family Childcare because July is our month where we do our National Association for Family Child Care sessions, you guys. We're going to be in St. Louis, so I just wanted to shout that out. So give everybody a second to get on into the room. All right, we still got people coming in. How you guys? Welcome to the Craft Cafe. I'm your host, Latoya Riggins, host of All Things Craft. I want to just give a brief introduction to what we're doing here. This is the Craft Cafe live show where we let our hair down. This is all about early childhood education leaders, okay? We are Craft. I'm going to tell you about Craft. Craft is our online business and professional development platform specifically designed for early childhood education business leaders, you guys. We do professional development on all 10 topics of business: finance, marketing, or operations, recruiting, human resources, everything you can think of. And I want to give a brief shout out to our founders of Craft, which is Better Futures. And we have one half of Better Futures on the line right now. I'll introduce him real quick. He is Dr. Robert Gunling, and he has over 51 years of experience in the ECE industry, you guys, from everything from directing, teaching. He's a mentor. He's a keynote speaker. He's an author. He's my Yoda, I call him. Dr. Gunling, can you come and say hi?
Good afternoon, everyone. Glad you're able to join us on what I'm learning is, well, what I know, but getting a fresh perspective of where we are in moving the needle to see more talented, qualified men in early childhood education programs. Looking forward to the conversation. Thanks.
All right. And thank you, Dr. Gunling, for one, being my inspiration for this topic with men in childcare, being in the industry so long. And, this has been a series, guys. This is our series, Men in Childcare. And we have our featured guest for this series is the DC Men in ECE. And they are on today. This is our third part to it. So I'm super excited to have Jamal bring on even more men in childcare to really represent the industry and tell their experiences, their stories of what they're doing here, how they got here, and how they're thriving in the industry today. So I'm excited to introduce you guys. I want to start with you, Jamal, and let you guys go around and introduce who you are and your role here. And just, give me a little overview before we dive in. So Jamal, I'm gonna start with you.
All right. Hello, everyone. Good afternoon. My name is Jamal Berry, and I am the president and CEO of Childcare Washington, D.C., and I am also the convener of DC Men in ECE, and I'll pass it over to Mr. Casey York.
Hello, my name is Casey York. I am also a part of DC Men of ECE, as well as a teacher at Childcare Washington, D.C.
All right. Thanks for being here. All right. Davon, you want to come on in? Are you able to jump in?
Hi, can you hear me?
Yes.
Hi, sorry, I'm on a trip with the campus. My name is Devon Ching. I am an assistant preschool teacher at the Macy's Family YMCA. I'm currently back in school to get my bachelor's for childhood administration.
All right. Wow. Thank you for being here, Devon. I'm so excited to really dig into this topic because what I want to do is really hear from you guys. Jamal, over at Childcare. Now, one thing with Childcare, I had some experience with you guys, so I understand what you guys are all about and everything, but I don't know if everybody else understands. Can you just give, for the people who are just tuning in today, just a background on the organization of DC Men and ECE? And then I want to go around to you, Mr. York, Mr. Devon, and really just get you guys' story of how you guys got into the industry. So Jamal, can you kick it off?
Yes, I can kick it off. So DC Men in ECE probably was thought of about 2 years ago. there are men working in multiple organizations, as you can see with Davion being in one organization, Mr. York in Educare, myself, and some men in Bright Beginnings and everywhere else, but we weren't connected. And so it was after an early ed X that we came together and had a meeting to say, what would it look like if we actually created a movement to push forward? Out of those conversations that started over really dinner and a couple of beers turned into a movement where we said we wanted to recruit, retain, and advance men of color in DC. Having the support of others like Robert Gunling and some other great beacons in DC, we just further realized as we thought through our mission, as we thought through our theory of change, as we're starting our website, and now going into our second annual conference on October 26th, we started to think about just what really mattered in DC, and seeing the outcomes for Black children, boys and girls, was disheartening, and that we could do something about it. So there's a lot of data that shows that men in early childhood programs help to increase outcomes for children. We know that there's only about 3% of men in early childhood programs. Mr. York was actually featured in an article where he was talked about as one of the unicorns, right, for being a man that was actually in early childhood. And when we think about men of color, that percentage is lower than 3%, probably somewhere around 1%. So it's something that is important to us. It's something that we're doing. And so the way we're recruiting, we're working with CDA programs, we're mentoring students that are in literacy, that are part of Literacy Lab. With the Teaching Men Fellow, we're looking to mentor middle school students to really have them to understand what their future could be if they got into early childhood. We're advancing by having our monthly meetings where we have collegial dialogue and push each other. We give each other advice. We give each other opportunities to continuously increase our craft and public speaking opportunities, and just to grow into the field. And then advancement is interesting because people would think advancement is, Mr. York going from an assistant to a teacher or a teacher to a coach, but it's really about advancing our skill set, right? We want to be, in order to really close the achievement gap, which is Educare's mission, so near and dear to me, but there's an achievement gap with children of color in Washington, D.C. When you look at third grade reading scores. And so we do need to be better educators in order to improve outcomes for young children. So we want to work on that too. We want to talk about the power of play. We want to show that men are not just the muscle in classrooms or the disciplinarians, but we are experts in early childhood education, and we bring a lot to the table. So that is DC Men in ECE in a nutshell. And we're excited once again, Latoya, for you just inviting us here to share our stories and talk about the great work that we do.
Well, I'm so glad, Jamal, and I wanted you to kind of let everybody know what that is, because I invited Davon in today to talk about his journey. So, and Davon, you're in Philadelphia, or you're in Maryland? Philadelphia?
I'm in Philadelphia.
Okay, so now I want to let y'all know, Davon, he is actually at work right now, and you guys are on a trip, right?
Yes, we're at the High North Carolina, the indoor amusement park in New Jersey.
Okay, well, I'm gonna let you go first real quick, because I know you got to get back to the trip. So I'm just glad that you can sneak away a little bit. So I want from you, Davon, as a man in childcare, I want to get a background story on you. Like, what did you always want to do childcare, or is this something that just kind of happened? Tell me a little bit about what your goals were, and then how you arrived in the industry.
Well, I can basically say I've been working with children all my life. My very first job was a camp director, and I've so far for so, and once I graduated from high school, I really didn't know what I wanted to do. So my mom, of course, my mom is a childcare provider. She has her own daycare in the city of Philadelphia. So she went to she was dropping camp kids off at the Merchants Wives, and she asked them were they hiring? He said, yeah. So I applied and I've been at the Y for 9 years. I started as a camp counselor, and
Wow.
then I moved up as a unit leader, and then now for this coming school year, it will move 3 years that I have been assistant preschool teacher. So and of course, like I said, I've been at the Y for 9 years. Um, and of course, I've I did camp, and then I did the after school program for a few years, and then now I'm in the childcare facility. My journey in the childcare facility, it was new. It was different because I'm the only male in our child care facility, and
Wow.
I'm the only male of color in our child care facility. So it was a little different because a lot of parents doesn't see male teachers. So I had a little struggle with going through that. The parents was like, who's gonna be with my child and stuff like that. So once they got to know me and got used to me, it changed a lot. I have parents now who wanted me to you know, spend more time with the kids off site and stuff like that. So it has been a great journey thus far. Being an assistant preschool teacher. I love what I do. Of course, I get this passion from my mother. So it's a great experience. And now I'm ready to move on and try the administration part. And it also will help me because I actually want to open up, one of my dream goals is to open up a group home for teen boys. So during this process, this is really helping me a lot with learning things to help me with, pursuing my business.
I love that. Wow. I'm excited to hear that because I didn't know you were in the industry for so long.
Yes,
9 years.
I've been at the Y for 9 years.
Now let me ask you this because listening to Jamal talk
And
about. Go ahead.
I'm only 30. I'm only 35. I'll be 36 next month.
So this is you're well into your career.
Yeah.
I love that. And that's why I'm so excited about what the DC Men and ECE are doing because do you know of any organizations like this that could actually mentor you and help you and even have a safe space for you in Philadelphia?
There was it's called First Up, where they
Okay,
had
I'm familiar with First Up.
where I think it was last year where they had a conference, like a little workshop session for the men that was in ECE program, and they just stopped doing it. So to be honest with you, no.
Wow. And I mean, I'm asking this because it just speaks to the lack of support that you guys do have. Now, like you said, being the only male, then the only man of color, that kind of puts you on an island. And if you don't have anywhere to go that can support you and you see people like yourself, that look like you, that have the same mindset as you, I'm so glad that we have that in DC. And this is just an opportunity to see more men and have a safe place for them to go. So Jamal, is it only for DC? Like, how are you guys connecting with other states? Like, can they be a part of this too? Like, and if so, how?
Currently, we are only in DC. I think that the movement can get larger. There are other organizations. I think our niche, or we are one of the first that specifically focus on early childhood. However, there are other programs that there's conferences that we attended that we actually kind of model ourselves after. So there's the Bond Academy, which is in Maryland, that works with educators of color. And there is actually a program in Philadelphia, and there's a conference that we're going into in November. I'm trying to find the name so that I can be specific. Dr. Gunn might know the program. Do you know the program in Philadelphia?
So I don't. However, NAEYC, our National Association for Early Childhood, has a Men in Early Childhood Interest Forum that any member can join. And that interest forum is over 40 years old.
Wow.
The challenge is that the problem is complex. As I listened to Davon, I worked for the YMCA of Philadelphia and vicinity 35 years ago. And the pain for me is you're telling the exact same story of a young man that I hired for one of the centers operated by the Y. We haven't moved the needle. I'm encouraged and I'm excited about the men in ECE that because there's private funding and because I know Jamal, I have hope we actually will create a movement. That's what we've been lacking, movement. We put people like Mr. York and Devon. I was on the stage when I was their age, and yes, people listened, and there were people who said, oh yeah, we need more men in early childhood education. And that's where, in my opinion, we are stuck. Because underneath, yes, we want our biases. Davon highlighted it. I've mentored young men who've been stalked by the parents as they're taking the children to the bathroom. Yeah. And last thing I'll say is when I worked for the YMCA of Philadelphia and vicinity, I hired a male nurse. It doesn't get much better than that. That young man came with medical experience, which allowed us to enter into a partnership with Children's Hospital of Philadelphia and serve medically fragile children. I'm talking about infants on heart monitors.
Wow.
So, Davon, I hope I get to meet you. Thankfully, because of Men in Early Childhood Education, I will be at that conference in November.
All right.
And I put it in the chat, but the name, Latoya, it's the Center for Black Educator Development. So, Devon, I hope you can get linked up to that. They've been around for a while and they're trying to increase the number of Black male teachers. Like I said, it's not just geared towards early childhood, but education, period. But it seems to be a great organization in Philadelphia that's doing some good work.
Nice.
Jamal, I'm curious. So if Devon wanted to come to the Men in Early Childhood Conference in October, the DC Men in Early Childhood Education are sponsoring, would that be possible or not? Is it restricted?
Yeah, that's possible because ours is no cost to anybody. So one, it would not be a cost to him. If he connects with us, we could just, think about how we could think about travel. If he, Philadelphia to DC is only a 2-hour trip, but yeah, we would definitely love to have him come down and join us for our conference.
Well, I know the Y is large enough, Devon. I would hope that your employer would see it as a worthwhile professional development event for you and pay your expenses.
I would just have to get the dates and let them know ahead of time. I don't think it would be an issue. Just have to, I'm so sorry. Just have to see how it will play out with if my boss would let me do it and stuff like that.
Definitely. And I want to be able to connect you guys. So Jamal, can you say the email address out loud so whoever's watching can actually reach out to you with any with any questions or just in general, to keep in contact while the website is, still, being developed.
Yes, the issue with a new organization is you have growing pains. So the website is almost done, but right now you can email us. It is iKeem@dcelc.org. That's IHKEEM@dcelc.org. If you email that email, he'll be able to get any communication to us. And Latoya, we had another gentleman join us, so I just want to introduce Dr. Liddell Funches and let him introduce himself. Dr. Liddell joined Educare almost a year ago now and came from Nolens. I'm gonna say it the right way. So from
Nolens, is that code for
yeah.
New Orleans?
That's New Orleans.
Okay,
That's how you
yeah,
gotta
that's how
say it
they
if you're
say it.
from
Yeah,
New Orleans.
Nolens.
Yeah, if you're from New Orleans, you gotta say Nolens. But I'll let him introduce himself and his role at Educare.
All right. Good afternoon, everybody. I was really busy at school today. Sorry for my tardiness, but I am Dr. Liddell Funches, and yes, I am from NOLA, New Orleans, Louisiana. I have been with Educare DC for 1 year, but I have been doing work with ECE for the last 10 years. I recently graduated from Jackson State University with my PhD in early childhood education. So this is my field. I love it. I don't consider myself an expert because I'm still learning and growing every day, but I'm excited to be here this afternoon with everyone. And I'm just, thank you for the opportunity to be with you all.
Well, keep going. Tell us, you said you've been with Educare for a year.
Yes.
And yeah, tell us a little bit more, like your experience in the industry.
Okay.
What brought you over here?
So definitely, October 2014, I stepped foot in my first pre-K classroom. I was a pre-K lead teacher at Kingsley House Head Start in New Orleans, Louisiana. And the interesting thing is I invited one of the interviewees that was on my panel to this live, and she's on right now. So hey, Crystal, thank you for joining us. She's joining us from New Orleans. And so, and so with the great work that I did there in 2014, I just moved up the ranks. I became an education supervisor for Early Head Start when we built the brand new campus for infants and toddlers in New Orleans. And then I transitioned back over to education supervisor for preschool, and I did that for about 3 years. I transitioned out from Head Start, and I went into the Orleans Parish school system where I taught kindergarten and first grade. And then I relocated to Jackson, Mississippi. They opened a brand new charter school there. And so I was working on my PhD in early childhood education. And so I taught kindergarten and first grade in Jackson, Mississippi for 2 years. But Jackson wasn't for me. So I wanted to leave and I went back home. And now I'm in DC doing this great work. It's a work of heart for me. I mean, I would do it even if I wasn't being paid, but DC pays well, so I'm happy to be here. But I enjoy this work every day. I enjoy working with adults. I also am an adjunct professor for Baton Rouge Community College in their care and development program. So I work with college students working on their AA degree that wants to be in this field. So I'm all embedded and invested in early childhood, and it's just been a great journey. It's been a great journey. I have an aunt, her name is Clara Hicks. She did early childhood education for 30 years. And she's been a big inspiration. She's retired now, but she's someone that I consider to be a GOAT that I go to for advice and when things get a little tough and hard. But I have just had a great mentor in Mr. Berry, and Educare DC has just opened their arms to me. So I feel great about this great work we're doing here in DC, and I just want to continue growing and expanding. But I know it takes platforms like this one to get the word out and to keep the conversation going. because there is a big misconception on me being a man and being here, but we deserve to be here. We should open spaces for men to be here, men of color. So we should work on recruitment and retention and just strategies to keep to get great professionals in the field. My dissertation I wrote about recruitment and retention, so I'm very invested in this work and advancing the field. So I'm all in. I'm all
Love it. That was so exciting. Now, listen, when you talked about your dissertation in recruitment, my background is in workforce development. So listening to you talk about the career path in ECE, I love it because that's the type of things that I think, especially men in ECE, need to know. Because one of the things I feel that keeps men out is the feeling that you're not going to make any money. You know, and as a man, you always expected to provide. And if you don't see childcare as an industry that you can do that with, it's pretty much not going to be on your radar. So when you said DC pays well, my eyebrow was like, say what? Say huh? So can you talk about that as far as the earning potential? That's another thing I want to hear from you guys, because I do want that to be something that guys hear, because you want things, you need things, people are dependent on you, and if you don't feel like you can make a living here, it's going to be out of sight. So can you talk a little bit about that, like the earning potential?
Yes, I think what happens is there's such a big misconception with the earning potential, right? Because a lot of times when people think about joining this field, they cap their capacity for like occupations at being a teacher or a classroom teacher, and they're not understanding that our field goes way beyond that. You could be a researcher, you can be a consultant, you can be a CEO. There's so many avenues that you can take your career down that leads to successful earning potentials. But I think that our the capacity where society has stopped. Like if you want to work in ECE, it's just that classroom based thing, right? So it will scare most men off because majority of men have to take care of families or have children to, responsibilities to take care of. I think also it ties to that educational piece. See, when you have those credentials, they give you access to rooms so that you can your capacity is expanded, right? So like for me, for an example, I have a doctorate in early childhood education. So my earning potential, because I have those credentials, have provided me access to knock on doors or knock down doors that normally wouldn't have happened for me if I didn't have these credentials. So, and I think also it's all about location. If you me my story, my journey, I was able to have the opportunity to relocate. I'm from Louisiana. It is a great state, but the opportunity to relocate to a more diverse metropolitan city where there were greater opportunities have really been beneficial to me. So I think that is what most men need to see. And even if men don't have the opportunity to relocate, if they hone in and get that education piece, if they get that credential and understand that degree will give you access to doors and more opportunity. I'm an advocate for education on all levels because I know it was my saving grace. I was raised by grandparents that only finished what we consider now middle school. And now you're looking at me, a product of them sitting with a doctorate living in Washington, D.C. They can't even imagine that.
Right.
So I'm it's different, but it can happen. But we gotta again, it takes us to meet in spaces like this and share our stories. Because that's what's going to transform minds. That's what's going to shift society's perception on the work that we wake up every morning to do.
Absolutely.
Can I
well
double
said.
down? Latoya, can I double down on that and pass it to
Yes,
Mr.
please
York
do.
so he can tell his story? But Liddell, what you just said made me really think about it. And I think this is a missing piece that I hadn't thought about. For men in early childhood, it's about commitment. What you see in these roles, I mean, he said it's about like it's the degrees, which it is, and it's the commitment to the field. Early childhood isn't the field that you're going to be an accountant or you're going to be in this other role and then say, you know what, I'm going to go work with children tomorrow, right? Like we've all invested a lot of time into this, and more than not have started from the bottom, meaning like started as an aide, right? Like a similar story. When I was in college, I worked in a local childcare center for after my practicum or after playing football, I would go work with young children. And so, we all started there. Mr. York, who started as an aide with Educare, now an assistant, has worked on his craft and has matriculated over time. So I just want to pass it to Mr. York to maybe talk about his experience like and growth over time. And I think Liddell hit it on the head, the more degrees, and not that yes, we do believe in degrees and qualifications matter, but it's also about those doors that are open with degrees. You become eligible for more roles, and that knowledge over time allows you to then pour into others.
I'm excited to hear from you. Now, how do you pronounce your first name? You said, is it Cassie or Cassie?
Casey.
Casey. Okay.
Yeah.
All right. There you go. So yeah, I want to hear, I'm ready to hear your story.
All right. Yes, my name is Casey York. My story. First time hearing about ECE, I was actually working with school-age children at the Performing Arts Center in Mount Rainier, Maryland. Been there for 7 years, wanted to grow, didn't know how, didn't know where to go to. There was our employer of mine explaining what Educare is about. Did my first interview there. Interview went well. We had 3 interviews, so the first and second interview went pretty well. I got to learn about Educare DC and what the mission was, and what was my why. In Educare DC, that's what we always say before we come in any professional development trainings. We always say, what is your why? Sometimes your why could change, but if your why stay the same, you make sure you remember that in your head every time you walk in that door. So my why I wanted to do ECE was just because I grew up in a similar background like these children right now. Some of them, these children don't have both mom and a dad in the household. I was with this one. This was my mother. Was a single parent that struggled time to time to make sure I had food in my stomach, make sure I had clothes on my back. But always didn't show her struggle. Always make sure everything was looking pretty right. Also, just have people around, people around me that could guide me to the language development, the growth mode development, the fine mode development. When I was young, I struggled a little bit when I was young, especially with my language. As that's kind of my reason why. I grew up in an environment, in a situation that that kind of did shape me in the right way, the man that I am right now, but also kind of hurt me when I was a child. So I wanted to give back. Yes, I was a mentor for school age children, but I believe that you could start young. Start with 6 weeks. If you in the infant room, or be up to 2-year-olds, 3-year-olds. So I started working at Educare DC in 2015, December 2015, as a teacher aide with the lead teacher that I saw grew as well, Ms. Kiana Morgan. She grew from being a lead teacher for all the age groups, infants, toddlers, even preschool. So that motivated me to do that. But at the same time, I was kind of stuck and also afraid. I went to college when I was 18 years old, but I was a struggle student. Financial aid did help me, but only helped me with my books. So I had to, have money out of my pocket to continue trying to further my education. Of course, I was young, 19, 20, 21, so I did want to live life as well. So that's, just trying to have that momentum of going to school, knowing what I'm trying to do, but also, to live life. As I got older, that school kind of scared me. Had some bumps down the road that, kind of scared me of going back to school. So my reality was, what, I guess school is not for me. So I kind of, trying to focus on myself, other areas, like, doing professional training, doing little workshops right now and then. But I kind of realize now that, going to get your education is very important, especially you work in the ECE. My momentum going back to school was when the pandemic happened. I left Educare around 2019, 2020 school year. Like regular teachers are, you get, burnt out a little bit. Things kind of got, stressful. At that time, I was married, about to have my first child. So, had my wife looking at my wife looking at me as the head of the household, the provider. Had to find some other income that was, bigger than what Educare, gave me, which it was decent, it was nice. I appreciated it, but I had to take care of my family first. So unfortunately, I had to switch careers and started something new. I liked it. It was cool. It was fun, but realized that shit was my home. Working at ECE is my home. It's my path, and I was battling career mindset. I wanted to be a fashion designer, this model, clothing line, things like that. And I realize now, yeah, I love that, but that's my hobby. What's my career? My career is working at ECE, working with the young children, working with parents, getting that development, getting that mindset, that learning, the growth, and just helping my community, helping DC. And I realized that, so went back to school. That followed when I came back in 2021, went back to school, Strive, and 2 weeks ago I graduated with my associate's degree in early childhood education.
Congrats!
Thank you so much. Look, I'm shocked. I'm happy. I'm a lot of emotions, but my momentum, it's high. I'm going back this fall to try and get my BA. And yeah, that's my why. I lived through it. The single mom. I lived through it, the times that, we did have food, it wasn't enough. I did live with the clothes that I was wearing, had, put it, wear it 3 or 4 times throughout the week, make sure no stains, things like that. I saw the struggle. I saw my struggle. I saw my struggle with my language development. I saw, my struggle of my cognitive, and looking back now, yes, I got older, got more, help with that. But look back at it now, oh man, I wish I could have a teacher or somebody that was in the ECE and, could help me, speed up the process, help, be somebody, a male figure to lean on, because, I'm a boy, with a mom, so
right.
You need to see that male figure, father figure, or male figure and stuff. So I'm so happy that I choose this path. I'm so happy to be a part of DC, DC men of ECE, something that I could help other men to realize, hey, this is the coolest career ever. Yeah, I get it, Amazon, I get it, US UPS, I get it, other jobs. I understand the money, the benefits. I'm proud, I'm happy for them, but a job that matters, a job that you could change lives, you could change the parents' lives, you could change the child's life. ECE is the place to be, I guess. And you say that, yeah, and always, say to, people, I said, I'm not a babysitter, I'm a professional teacher, and, we don't just babysit, we really teach the children these steps, like I said, language, social, emotional, physical, fine motor, gross motor. Like you're gonna see me in the hallway jumping up and down like a frog. I'm free. I'm a big kid. You say that also, but the kids love it. Even the parents, see that, hey, you got some male figure, here in the school. It's amazing.
I love that. So, Casey, now with that whole thing, I know you worked at Educare before, and then you said you left and you came back. Now, when did you get connected with the DC Men and ECE group? Like, how did that happen?
Oh, it happened last year, 2023. you could say. This when Jamal Berry basically send me an email. No, me and Jamal and Mr. Berry know that I'm a yes guy, and then he sent me, yeah, your guy. He go say yes it is. I talked to him about it. He explained me the vision, the goal, and what he's want all of us to accomplish. I was with it, the very first time he told me. I'm like, yeah, I'm in. Got a chance to sit around with a lot of people, a lot of important people, male figures that's a part of EC as well. The first conference was also something that I thought about. Like, wow, this is it. We're doing it. Yes, it's not going as fast as we want it, but everything takes time. I believe that our first conference was a success, and I feel like people notice us that hey, there are men in ECE. Like I said, I'm very happy to be part of it.
I'm excited for that. So I want to know a little bit more about now. What are some things that you got from this group? Because you're a coach now, right? You're a mentor, right?
I'm everything: teacher, mentor. You can say I'm a teacher first. I'm in the classroom, but I'm mentor. I do little professional training with my co-teachers as well, trying to get them to stay motivated and get them to learn new things about how to do lesson plans, how you talk to the parents in the correct way, and make sure they also impart up the classroom as well. So in Educare, but honestly, being a teacher, you should be everything. You should be being multitask. Be more just a teacher in the classroom, and serving the food and things like that. No, you want to be a part of the parents' lives. You want to be a part of the children's lives. You want to be a part of your teacher's life as well. You can change all of that.
I love this. I'm holding the speaker because I think you want your Bluetooth because it's low, yeah. So I had to put the speakers in my ear so I could hear every single thing you're saying. So if y'all see me with this in my ear, this is what I'm doing. So yeah, like a DJ. Mm-hmm. So now when it comes to, and this is for all of you guys that are in the DC Men and ECE, like I want to hear from you, like what are some things that you guys are doing in the community to kind of, I guess, show yourselves out there? Like how can people, where can they see you? Where can they catch you? What are some types of things that you guys will be represented at where people could kind of look for you at? Or if they're listening right now that maybe have those types of venues or platforms, they'll know that you're available for those types of things. Tell us a little bit about that. Like what kind of things we can expect from y'all.
Yeah, I can probably take that one. So one, conferences. A couple of us attended the Bond Academy, which was at Bowie State University, one of the best historical Black colleges and universities. We don't even recognize Jackson State, but since we're in the DMV area. But no, there was the Bond Academy had something there. Like we said, the Center for Excellence, I believe, but the Black male educators, we're sending a group of DC Men and ECE to that event. We're having our own conference on October 26th. And Latoya, I just forward you the email in case you want to send that out to all of your watchers there. And then for people that are in DC in September, we're going to kind of do like a introduction tour, if you will. By ward, we're going to take so ward 1 and 2, 3 and 4, 5 and 6, and then 7 and 8. And we're going to have something like this, like a panel where we just introduce ourselves to them so that they know who we are, what we're about, and that we can really just face-to-face invite people to our conference. The thing we learned from the first conference was that I think educators thought it was just for men. And although DC Men and ECE as an organization is just for men, the conference is citywide. We want come one, come all. We want everybody to come because once again, as we think about excellence and we think about, once again, recruitment, right? Your nephew who's 8, if you are at this conference and see these men as leaders, you might influence your nephew to become an educator. So it's not just for us. You can recruit. There's more than one way to skin a cat. And so all of these efforts are going to come together for recruiting men, retaining men, and advancing men in the field.
I love this. My wheels are just spinning. Thinking about what you said, Liddell, about recruiting And this would be a great space for employers to be a part of too, bringing all these men in here, because I know they're looking. So it's like, it's a one-stop shop. So I'm super excited just to be a part of it. I can't wait I want to cover the event. You know, I want to be up in the building. I don't know. We'll talk, Jamal, about, you know, what the opportunities are if y'all having vendors or booths or whatever, because if you do, I want one. Because I definitely want to be a part of it and really, you know, push this word out about ECE period, you know, about as an industry. But like I said, this is really near and dear to my heart, being as though I work with two of the only guys that I ever see at these events. So I'm like, wait a minute, like this gotta be, look, this is weird. You know, what's going on? I want to bring more attention to this. So like I told you guys, when I first started this, I had this vision a few years ago to do a DC, not a DC, but just a men and child care piece, period. And I was approaching guys. I was all over Instagram trying to find guys. I mean, I'm approaching guys in different states. If I see you doing childcare and I'm like, hey, I want to feature you, and it just never worked out. So, you know, I was talking to Dr. Gunlin, and he was like, well, why are you doing that? We have DC Men and Child Care Organization. I'm like, wait, what? And he's like, yeah, you know Cameron, you know. And I'm like, what? So I was like, no brainer. I got them right in my backyard. Let's do it. Let's go. So I'm just so excited, so proud to not only have you guys here, but have you guys local to me. Well, I could pop up to Educare right now and come see you, Jamal. Like, you know, like I need to, that's another thing I want to do. Come and see where you guys are, maybe do a tour, do a little live up in there. Cause I love to show things and because I love to see it myself. So I know that if people had access to see what the facilities look like, I'm saying Educare because you guys have a state-of-the-art facility and it's been there for a while, and it almost kind of, and it was before they developed that neighborhood, because I used to live in Mayfair, right across down the street, and my kids went to Neville Thomas, so it's right next door. So if I didn't live in that neighborhood and be so curious as to walk around and you know, stick my head around, I wouldn't have seen it. And when you see Educare, it looks like you're in a whole nother world. Like before everything around it was developed, you can tell that it was something dynamic coming to the community. And I was really proud to have that in my community, and then have my kids and the kids in the community have that kind of facility available to them. So, you know, now that, you know, DC is going through so much gentrification and all that, and now that neighborhood looks totally different than it did when I lived there. Because that was 8 years ago that I lived over there. So I have to come and see what it's looking like now. So for you guys to kind of be like the pillars of that part of the community to show this, you know, we deserve this. We deserve to have great facilities with great lighting, which I love about it. There's a lot of natural light coming in, just the way the building is designed and the way the professionalism of the people there. Another thing I want to add about Educare that I love is the you guys have, like, I don't know if I'm sure you still have it, but you guys have like a computer lab in the front where parents and the community can come and use the computer and, you know, do job applications, whatever they need. There's no excuse that I don't have a place to do this at. So I'm saying this to kind of brag on you guys at Educare, because I really love what you guys get to do there. And the more that you guys are putting this word out, the more of those opportunities we can have in those types of communities that don't have it, you know. And I think that with you guys leading the pack, we're unstoppable, you know. So salute to you guys for staying the course, for making that commitment, and even with you, Casey, trying to, you know, veer off and do other things, and then listening to your calling. Because the one thing I always say about this industry, that nobody like just wakes up and say, I want to do this. Most of the time, you are called to this industry. And one thing about a call, you don't have to pick up. You could ignore that call all day, and many people actively ignore the call. And it's because of the different things that we talked about. It's because they're like, well, I'm not going to make any money. Well, it's just too hard. I don't want to deal with this. Or what about the parents? Instead of thinking about, if you're called to something, it's because you are the person for the job. You are the person that can really, you know, make change and move the needle and really make an investment in people's lives. And it pay off, and not just for you, but for everyone. So I just want to salute you guys for answering that call. And definitely you, KT, saying, you know, openly saying that, hey, I put it down for a second, but it kept calling, and I came back. You know, so thank you, and thank all of you for doing this and coming on the show, telling your story, being vulnerable about your feelings and the things that you've been through, and the things that could have hold you back and may hold other people back, and just distilling that, breaking those barriers for people. And that's what this is about. The more we do this, the more people can hear it, more people can feel secure picking up the call, you know? Because y'all looking good. Y'all look like y'all take care of yourselves and your families pretty good. Y'all don't look like y'all struggling at all. So it's just a way to, and y'all so professional. You know, you guys are talking. I mean, Casey, when you were talking about cognitive, you were talking regular, but you were talking like these terms and stuff, just, you know, meaning that you guys are able to look at the world in a totally different way than just a regular person walking down the street. And how, you know, that really sets into me, because being an educator means you are a lifelong student. So it's the sky's the limit. So I want to hear from you guys. Like, what do you guys want? We got a few minutes left, but what do you guys want to see more of? What are some things you want people to know? And, you know, just what's your vision for men in ECE period?
I just want to share, I think for anyone that's listening or anyone that's just learning about DC Men and ECE, I would say it is definitely a safe space and a great space for men to gather together that has this common interest in early childhood education. I could speak for myself from experience there, and I know Casey can attest to this, being the only man in certain spaces where we're outnumbered by our female counterparts. Sometimes we are just you know, you're just singled out. And I think what DC Men and ECE did for me was it created a space where I was able to go and see representation, because representation matters. So when I was able to look around those meeting rooms or the conference and see other men with the same love, interest for this profession that I have, it gave me an extra boost of confidence to be proud of answering the calling. So definitely anyone that's just curious or interested in learning more, this is the space for you. And come check us out, because we're here and we're doing great work.
Thank you for that.
For me, yes, more men, ECE men. I want men to actually just, you know, take a look at ECE, take a look how this career can, you know, change lives. Like I said, I get it, you know, the other jobs, you know, they're well, you know, paid, well benefits, but just give us a chance, give ECE a chance. For the men, for the teachers, oh man, find us, find DC, find us. We are, you know, a great space to, you know, to help other teachers to grow. We also, you know, just a good community, a good male community. Like Dr. Liddell said, you know, in the classroom, in the program with mostly women dominant, awesome women as well as that. Like I said, it could get overwhelming. It could get, you know, lonely, you know. So, you know, just find us. Yeah, just come on board. We got more room.
I love that. I love that. Y'all heard them. You gotta find them. They out here, y'all. You just gotta connect them, and that's what we're doing here. Now let's see. We have now Crystal. We didn't get a chance to talk to you. Crystal, are you able to come on and say hi, introduce yourself? And then we have Tangalia. If you guys are able to come on and introduce yourself, definitely please, you know, and feel free to turn your camera on. I mean, and most people are working around this time, so they're just listening in. So, but I always want to give, oh, there she is. Okay, go ahead and unmute, honey.
Hello, my name is Tangalia Butler. I'm a lead teacher at Childcare DC as well. I just popped on to support my DC men, Mr. Berry, Mr. York, Dr. Liddell at this time for them. Currently, I'm in the classroom, so that's how I was off camera during that time. But yes, it was so good to hear you all's story as well.
Thank you. Thank you. And this is important, Sagalia, because like Jamal said, the empowerment of men is not just by men. We need women because y'all running everything in there. The first person we need up in there standing up for men is the women. So definitely come all, tell your friends, bring a friend, and we're gonna flood that whole conference out. They're gonna be like, I thought this was for men. Y'all coming in here taking over. No, but we need you.
Yes, I definitely got on the call and I texted Dr. Lee. I said, I don't see any women. Am I supposed to be on this call? He's like, yes, you could be on the call.
Look, you see how I feel. Look. But no, thank you so much. And that's the thing, even while you guys are in the classroom and you popping on, that's commitment. Thank you so much, because I know it's a lot, but that's why I do it during the day to grab everybody, because people on their phones anyway. Let's come on and talk about something real, Yeah. So thank you. Let's see, Crystal, are you able to come in and say hi? Because you're probably at work too.
Yes. I don't know if Crystal could come off and say hi, but I'll do a quick introduction. Crystal is my friend. I invited her to join. She's joining us from New Orleans, Louisiana. She's one of the lead early childhood coaches. She has a team, and they are instructional coaches, and they support childcare centers in New Orleans, Louisiana. Crystal has been teaching, I think, just as long as I have, possibly, but a little bit longer, because when I joined in 2014, she was the teacher next door to me. So we have grown together, we have worked together, we have cried together, we have done a lot together. And so now she is in a leadership role too, with her team leading instructional coaches in ECE in New Orleans. Thank you for joining us, Crystal.
Yes, thank you, Crystal. And that was a great introduction, Dr. Liddell. I love that. And that's what it takes, though. Everybody kind of pitching in and doing their part. Oh, guys, y'all just filled me with so much joy. I know I'm good. Oh, who is that? You want to say hi? There she is.
Hi. I was struggling to get on. I don't know, for some reason I wasn't able to get on. But anyway, thank you, Lee. That was an awesome introduction, though. Right? But like he said, I am Crystal Fernandez. I work here at Kingsley House. Well, actually, they changed the name recently to now Clover Academy. So I've actually been in early childhood for, I don't know, over 15 years or so. I am currently a lead education coach. So I do have a team of 5 ladies, education coaches. So that's what I oversee. So we go inside the classroom, help the teachers with best practices inside the classroom. So yeah, I've been in this field for a long time, and I just came on to support Dr. Lee. He's a dear friend of mine. And I just love him. So anything that he's involved in, I would definitely be there to support. So, and it was great to hear all of the guys speak. And, my hat is off to you guys, because like you all say, you don't typically see men, which where I work, we don't have any male educators. But, what you guys are doing is trying to promote it. I love it, because they are needed. The children need to see themselves, like the male students need to see themselves, so they can see, well, it's not just a female, even though sometimes being so young, we think that they don't understand the importance of that representation, but it actually is important for them to see, what they can one day be. So, yeah, so that's it.
Crystal, thank you for coming on camera and saying hi to everybody and the support. So I hope to see you when you come down from New Orleans for the conference, and then we'll get to meet in person.
Yes.
Oh wow, this has been amazing, you guys. Like you guys are helping me live my dream. Okay, so I'm just excited to see the needle move. I'm excited to hear all the stories, and I want to, do more of this. So I can't wait for the conference and any other events that you guys do. Let me know so I can get up in there and put it on my calendar. And I love to travel, so you gotta tell me in advance though, so I can get my flight. If y'all doing something outside of DC ever, you know what I mean? Like, All right. Well, guys, we're gonna go ahead and land this plane. We're at 2:00, and I know you guys have to go back to your jobs, and you're already there. But I want to say thank you, and I want to give a great salute and let you guys know the website is on the way, but you can actually email. Say it one more time, Jamal. Akeem's, you said contact Akeem?
Yep,
His email.
it's IHKEEM@dcelc.org.
All right, yeah, because I don't know how to spell his name offhand, so I needed you to do it one more time. All right, and reach out to them, you guys. Send them a message so that they can give, put you on a mailing list, and you get access to all the updates of the things that they're doing and any recruitment. If you guys are looking to get in the industry, I'm sure that these leaders here can actually help you with job opportunities and things of that nature. And if you're looking to get experience, you might be able to volunteer, which I love. Talking about that, coming in and getting a little taste of it, helping out, even if you can't work all the way in the industry. We always need people to come in and volunteer and, chaperone, all those different things. You can still get involved. All right. So I'm going to sign off, let y'all out the room, and I'm going to do a couple of updates of what we got on craft. Y'all free to go ahead and do what you got to do. I'll be following up with you guys later. All right. Bye, everybody. So before we leave, I got to tell y'all about our craft updates, because I am wearing our Craft Family t-shirt, and that is a salute to family childcare, you guys. So Better Futures in Craft is going to be featured this year, 2024, at the National Association for Family Childcare Conference. And the first time I went, it was in New Orleans, you guys. So shout out to New Orleans. But this year it's going to be in St. Louis, Missouri, and I have never been. And that's why I love conferences, because I get to travel and I get to meet all of our members and new members, people that are coming in person, you guys. As you know, Craft is our online business and professional development platform where we bring our conference level courses to you at I don't want to say a discount, but it's at a great rate. It's a fraction of the price that you would pay. And we want to do that because we believe that every business owner deserves to have access to the information that they need to run a successful, profitable childcare business, okay? So we want to make sure that you guys have access to the pros. And when I say the pros, I'm talking about us. Now, if we can't do it, we know somebody who can. Now, we have a team of experts, a team of consultants that touch 10 different topic areas. Of course, I'm marketing. So right now we got Craft Plus, which is our app where you'll be able to stream all of our past content all the way back to like 2018, you guys. So if you missed the class, you get to go ahead and watch it as many times as you want. You'll have access to all the craft cafes. You'll have access to definitely some of our templates that we give out. We have budgeting tools, all kinds of templates for you guys to keep your business under wraps and grow your revenue. Okay, we also have articles. Dr. Gunner, he is our featured author. Okay, book coming soon. But we got tons of articles and all types of resources for our childcare businesses, you guys. And that's from family childcare, group homes, center-based, multi-site, whatever you have. So we got Craft Plus coming. So we got some deals coming to the conference. Also, we are just launching our new CRM program called Canoe by Craft. And this is definitely for you guys that have members, that have organizations, that have multiple people that you need to reach out to. If you have revenue that you need to manage, if you are definitely working on your newsletters and any type of marketing and all of that, it puts everything into a one-stop shop so that you can increase your customer relationships. You can manage it and increase your touch on your customers, which is going to equate to a bigger, better organization for you. All right, so check out Canoe by Craft. We will be doing demos on site in St. Louis. So if you are going to the conference, you're going to be there. Definitely connect with me because I'm going to be doing interviews at the table. I'm going to be going live left and right. I'm going to be at all the events. So I want to see you there. All right. So definitely stop by our website for more information. That's www.betterfuturesdc.com. All right. Take care, y'all. See y'all at the next episode.